Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today we are talking about it's cause I trusted the guy. Doordash driver receives first contract violation after customer lies about not receiving order. One of the hardest lessons that a newer Doordasher or even a Doordasher that's never really had a contract violation can learn is that customers cannot be trusted. And I've had to deal with this burn recently on Uber Eats, and this time this guy is gonna feel this burn on Doordash. So with that said, I want to go over everything that's being said in this article, how it actually is for gig workers and customers, platforms involved, Doordash, UberEats, Grubhub, and everything in between. So with that said, let's get started. An Australia-based Doordash driver on TikTok has sparked discussion after claiming he received his first contract violation on the platform after a customer lied about not receiving their food. Okay, so I know that we're talking about how a customer did not receive their food, but this is the one thing that I do want to point out. An Australia-based Doordash driver. This is the Doordash driver that has entered into a union because of how Australian Doordash drivers actually work. And this is the first time we're actually hearing from them. One thing I do want to note right away is that their situation is not too different from ours right off the bat in terms of receiving contract violations. I also want to note that customers in Australia and customers in America and UK and everywhere else, just because they're in a different place doesn't mean the scams that they pull are that much different than those in America. So keep that in mind. In a video with over 452,000 views, TikTok user Andy at Andysbusinessjourney shares his story of Doordash deception. The things you do for content, huh? I'm going to leave his TikTok as well as his profile in the description so you can develop your own opinions on the subject. According to Andy, he was waiting in the lobby for the customer to come down and pick up his food. While he was waiting, Andy marked the order as delivered. Eventually, the customer came down and picked up his food. That's a big no-no, dude, because here's the reality. You never mark the order as delivered until it's in their hands. I don't care if I'm in the building and they're taking their sweet time, I'm turning on that timer because they should have been down there already. You gotta make sure that it's in their hand or at their door and photos taken before anything happens, because you don't want to get scammed like that. A day later, Andy opened the app to discover that the customer claimed he never received the food. Because you marked it too soon, dude. You marked it just a little too soon. It's one of those things, like, it doesn't seem like it's gonna be a problem until it is. He waited one day to mark it as never received, Andy says. He wanted to make sure I was gone and that I wouldn't know his address. Okay, well, first off, he probably marked it almost immediately, or a couple of hours, or who knows. For context, a Doordash contract violation is a formal notice that you have violated some part of the Doordash Dasher contract expectation per Ridester. I actually made a video on contract violations as well. It's a little outdated and I need to remake it, but I'll leave it in the description. Feel free to check it out. By the end of his video, Andy doesn't seem too bothered by the experience as the violation appears to go away after 100 deliveries. Yeah, you see, that's the one thing I gotta say about Doordash contract violations that I actually kind of like. The amount of time the violation actually stays on your account is completely dependent on you, the driver. You could just hammer out 100 deliveries and the violation goes away. In the case of Grubhub, it's 90 days. They do real time as opposed to gig work, which is time is the amount of work you put in. Andy later provided a follow-up video with more context for what happened. Andy says in this video that he could not prove that the customer did actually receive his food, as he did not follow several steps outlined by Doordash. DoorDash. These steps included contacting the customer. Andy explains that they talked through the intercom, but nothing further. Waiting for the recommended time. Andy claims he was waiting, but could not prove this as he had messaged the customer in-app and taking a photo. Andy did not take a photo as evidence of the delivery. A few things that I would note based on the things that he is explaining. He contacted the customer through the intercom and not through the phone. You do need some sort of documented evidence stating that you actually contacted them. Second, if the customer is not getting to you right away, you gotta start the time. Taking a photo, that really applies to leave at the door deliveries. For the most part, I would actually have one photo in the app and one photo in your phone. But that depends on the customers in which you are delivering to. If you're in an area where these situations come up relatively frequently, you gotta protect yourself more. However, I would also say you don't want to work in those areas, period. You want to work in areas that are middle class or upper middle class, in my opinion, because those are the people that actually tip. If you get too wealthy, they're not going to tip. If you get too poor, they don't have the money to tip you. Andy has still submitted a claim contesting this violation, though it's unclear if the issue has been resolved. I think he's referring to the in-app white box that they tell you could actually explain what happened on your side of the story, but I sincerely doubt they're gonna just remove the violation. Like most times, you have to contact Dasher support. They say on the website that you can't do it, but yes, you can. You have to contact Dasher support and hope that you got somebody understanding enough to remove the violation for you, but it really depends. As Andy explains, a customer can still claim they didn't receive the food. Even with this evidence, however, most people, genuine human beings, don't do that. Which is why you have to put that customer on your no-go list now. If they're gonna put your account in danger by playing these stupid games, you can't work with them anymore. It's irresponsible to do so. In the comment section, some users claim to have had similar experiences. I got one too. I handed it to them instead of leaving it at the door, wrote one user. I now only leave it at the door. Yeah, it's gotten so bad that the relationship between driver and customer cannot actually be trusted. It is literally that impossible to trust them because everything they say and do is a lie. Happened to me as well, another added. Someone fraudulently claimed they never received it, so DoorDash let me go even though they told me I'd be good. And this is another good reason people get deactivated for customers that play these stupid games, which is why you need to steer away from those people. And that's a significant source of income for a lot of drivers. DoorDash is a pillar app for a lot of drivers. In a lot of cases, DoorDash is the only app you work for, which is not smart, but people do that. This is my opinion. It's worth what you pay for it. None of you pay me. There you go. If a customer is going out of their way to attack you, they cannot be trusted. You need to put them on your no-go list. And honestly, this is why if there seems to be any sketchy situation, you gotta document it. Because DoorDash isn't gonna give you the information of that customer after the order's already delivered. You gotta be able to do that yourself. Because a lot of these customers, like I said, it doesn't matter if you're in Australia, it doesn't matter if you're in the UK, USA, Canada, they all operate under the same way. So if you experience one of those customers who choose to screw you over, it is irresponsible to work with them more than once. I would actually say you don't work with them ever again. DoorDash should be trying to deactivate that customer for playing that stupid game, but in reality, no, they're not. Or they're not gonna do it anytime soon. So you have to take it upon yourself to you are never working with that customer again. Now, I know that I've talked about it here and there, and I know that I say that I don't support what they do and blah, blah, blah. But Para does have tools for this. You could also have a personal no-go list. Do what you have to do to protect yourself at the end of the day, because DoorDash isn't going to protect you. They're going to take the word of the customer before you until it becomes too much of a problem. problem. And then they're gonna do something about it, but by then it's already too late because you got deactivated, or you already got the contract violation, or something else to that effect. But the reality is you never work with that customer, period, ever. It is irresponsible to do so. All in all, make sure that you are doing what you can to protect yourself, because in reality, these people are not going to do right by you in the long term. Doesn't matter if it's the customer or the platform. You gotta protect yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.